There's the first step out of the basement.
It's over.
They're out of the basement. The Phillies win it 4-2 at Washington. Their first win, Ricky Bottalico, in 1 week's time. First win in 5 games, yes, but it was last Saturday, May 27th, that they last won a ball game. As we welcome you, the Phillies PostGame Live, presented by our friends at Cure Auto Insurance. Bullpen game. That was great. JT Realmuto, 2 for 4 home run and 2 runs scored.
And the one thing we saw today are the stars. They stood out. Trey Turner, RBI. You look at Bryce Harper. He was struggling coming into today's game. A couple hits for him. And JT, if anybody needed a breakout game, it was JT Realmuto. He had one today, a big home run in this one. And I mean, quite frankly, this is probably a cleaner game than we've seen them play in a while, so it's kind of refreshing more than anything else. A big win for the Phillies. They needed this. I know it's the Washington Nationals, but you have to start somewhere. And no better time than a Saturday, since the last win was on a Saturday.
You're right. Let's celebrate that. And we go back to D.C. with Tom and Ben, who are talking to JT Realmuto. Guys?
Thank you, Michael. We appreciate it. JT, thanks for joining us. We appreciate that. You've had, obviously, huge games in your career. But how did those 2 extra base hits feel today?
They felt really, really good, honestly. Been putting a lot of work in the cage. My swing hasn't felt right the last few weeks. There's no secret about that. But hopefully today got me going in the right track.
JT, so you did something today that I've never had to do, and that's to have a complete bullpen game. Obviously, different guys with different stuff. How difficult is that, putting the right fingers down for each and every guy, because they all have different stuff?
Yeah, it's a little easier on me because of how good our bullpen is, and they all have elite stuff, and it's very easy for me to just trust their strengths. And yeah, that's cold. What is that? Did you get the gum or no gum? Love you guys.
In front of a live studio audience.
It's easy on me because of how good our bullpen is, and they all threw the ball great today. You just trust their stuff and go with it.
You know, JT, you talked about putting in all the work, and we obviously see it underneath with, with Kevin Long and Jason Camilli. Explain that a little bit, just the work that they do to get you guys right. Yeah,
there is a lot of sweat that goes in the cage, before games, especially when guys are struggling. So today I probably took 200 to 300 extra swings off the machine, just trying to get my bat path right, my timing right, and it paid off. But yeah, those guys help us so much down there, and they're never turning down work. They'll work with us as long as we want.
JT, it seems like in the recent couple of weeks, you just kind of been feeling for the baseball, some lazy fly balls to the right side. The double you hit in that second inning, it was almost like, get off me ball, and then you got the other one in the bullpen. It seemed like you just had a little bit more authority with that swing.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I've just been fouling off and hitting too many fly balls on good pitches to hit, and I think I've just been losing my barrel a little bit, maybe leaking on my front side. There's so many things that can go wrong in a baseball swing, and it's never the same problem. So trying to find that and figure it out and work your way through it, that's just part of the game, and that's part of the process.
I would think that that's the hardest part of the game. We saw Nick's quote last night about how unforgiving this game can be when you have runs like this.
Yeah, exactly. And it always seems like when you're not feeling your best is when the guy on the mound is also executing at his best, and you're not getting good pitches to hit, and then you start chasing and expanding the zone. And this game is very crueling sometimes to hitting. There's no doubt about that.
Well, today was a lot of fun to watch all the way around, not only for your defense but also for your offense. Thanks for joining us, JT.
Thanks, guys.
All right, JT Realmuto in front of a live studio audience, giving some really good answers, some honest answers as well about the work he's put in and the work that the guys underneath have put in with him. Kevin Long, Jason Camilli, everybody that's all part of that hitting crew.
As I said during the broadcast, every time we went up and down the steps from the clubhouse to the dugout today, JT was in there taking whacks. Yeah. And, it paid off today. You'd love to see that hard work pay off. Doesn't always pay off, especially in this game, but it did this afternoon.
All right, so a good win today, guys. 5-game losing streak is by the boards. Hopefully the Phillies are starting a little different streak with today's victory. Back to you guys.
Hope so, Tom. Ben, we'll talk to you in a moment. Great call and great interview with JT Realmuto. And one of the things he said to Tom and Ben, Ricky, was how good he felt getting those 2 hits today. Certainly the RBI that came with the home run and the 2 runs scored as well. I'm wondering if you went through that, if you had a dry spot and all of a sudden it starts to flow again. He really seemed relieved and heartened to get back on the bases.
Well, you're always relieved because you're trying to go over things. You're always practicing. You're trying new things. You're trying to swing. You're trying to get that feel back because when it really comes down to it, it becomes muscle memory. And when you have that muscle memory and then all of a sudden that one swing feels really good, you have it back. I think it is that simple for hitters. Sometimes they have to. Sometimes it takes a long time to find that, though. And when you're searching, like he's been searching for a while now. Mm-hmm. Well, he seemed to have found it today, and hopefully that carries over again for him tomorrow. Because I mean, let's face it, Harper was struggling a little bit. Phillies need those guys like there's no tomorrow, and they need them now. This is the time to make a little bit of a run. You have the Nationals one more tomorrow. Then you have the Tigers. So
yeah, and you also realize how important a win is even after 5 straight games of losses. And you think, well, a win's not that big a deal. It's a 162-game season. Let's go to Ben Davis and get his thoughts on that. Right, Benny? You really can't place enough importance in this game, in this life, about a win, whether it's a win on the field or a win in your day. They lost 5 straight games, and we're all giving it up. You know what I mean? It's done. It's over. Who didn't think that? And then they win today, and you think, well, you know what? They win a couple more, and they'll be right back in it, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things. You get that W finally after 5 games, and it was there were some tough losses in there. I mean, look at last night. They rallied from 6-0 down, and then from 7-1 to tied up 7-7, end up losing 8-7. It's not ideal, obviously, but I like today because they found a way to win. They manufactured some runs, they got the job done, and they get out of here with a W. They have a chance to win the series tomorrow and head back to Philadelphia to face the Tigers. You never know what can happen. They need a big one out of Ranger tomorrow, and they need him to go deep, obviously, with this being a bullpen game this afternoon.
Ben, I think something else comes out of this a little bit, actually more important than even the win. You got Turner with a double today and an RBI. You had JT with 2 hits and a home run, and also Bryce Harper with 2 hits. And I mean, to me, that could carry over a lot more than just one win. Am I right?
You're 100% right, Ricky. And again, these guys are getting their work in. What I like today about JT, and we heard him, he was a great interview. He was tremendous with us. Well, the fact that he's just kind of feeling for the baseball, kind of massaging balls out to right field instead of staying behind it and driving it. What I liked about Harper, well, he always has that controlled, violent swing. But if you look at Turner today, he was excellent in the fact that he was ready to go. He's almost like, okay, here I am. I'm ready to go. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it. No, it's not for me. I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm on it. Yeah, that's the one for me. That's what I liked out of Turner today. He was seeing pitches a lot better. He was staying on them, and he hit some good balls in New York. Just didn't have anything to show for it. Well, he had something to show for it today with a big RBI, especially with 2 outs. That's another thing I liked. Harrison 2-out RBI, and we also had Turner with a 2-out RBI.
Hey, Ben, I got to ask you a question because I noticed something today. I don't know if all the viewers noticed, but on that pickoff from I believe it was Covey on the mound.
Yes.
That's a play that they're using now. Am I right or wrong? Because I saw JT drop the glove.
Yeah, I don't know if it was so much a play as to this newfangled way of taking a lead. It's almost like you get set in your stance, and all of a sudden you take like 2 shuffle steps. Well, if the pitcher can detect when you're taking those shuffle steps, I've seen it at the high school level. We've seen the Yankees start to implement it this year, and their stolen base numbers going up. But if you get caught in between, it makes for an easy pickoff play. And you saw Alex Call was dead to rights at first base.
No, but I want you to, when you get a chance, you got to watch the replay of this. Because you remember when we used to do it, runner on second base, it would be drop the glove and turn and throw. This looked like
the pitcher when he can turn. Yeah.
It looked like a drop the glove throw over the first base thing.
I'll definitely take a look tomorrow, ask around, but it definitely could be if they are implementing that. It's literally you're standing there, and as the guy gets to go, you're starting. It's almost like you're getting a momentum to go to second base, and if you can get the guy while he's making that transition when he's going to second base, you get him leaning one way. That's an easy pick off to first base. Maybe that is something they saw him when they get out for that shuffle. Maybe that's when JT drops the mitt.
There were a couple other viewers who noticed the sac fly that Bryce Harper scored on, the fact that he made an effort to get to home plate before Real Muto possibly could have gotten tagged out. Did not happen, but he was very aware of that, Ben.
Yeah, these are all the heads-up things that the Phillies have lacked, have not done this year at certain times. But it seems like everyone had their blinders on today. They had one focus, and that was just to go out and get a W. They were to get 10 hits in today's ball game. That was very reassuring to see. But I think a couple of these guys are ready to go off. We saw Schwarber with a knock to lead off the game. I know he didn't have any more in the game, but I think Turner's ready to go, and I think JT's going to get back to where he needs to be. Obviously, Castellanos is doing his thing right now. He's been outstanding. So, again, it's a community effort. Everybody's got to contribute, and I think as long as these guys go individually, the better they do individually, the better off they're going to be as a ball club.
We're bringing up the heady plays, Ben, because we've been killing them because they have played really, really difficult baseball at times. And speaking of that, Nick Castellanos, you had a quote on the game broadcast about how humbling and how difficult the game is. And if you don't come back every day and play at the top of your ability, you're going to get crushed by this game.
Yeah, and this just isn't a game, Michael, you can just flip the switch. If you go out and golf and you shoot a 90, you're going to probably have obviously your share of bad strokes, but the majority of the time you're going to probably have 45 good swings at the golf ball or make a couple putts. That's not the way it is in baseball. You just can't turn it on and turn it off. And if you think you can, you are sorely mistaken. You take anything for granted in this game, it'll eat you alive. And it's nice to hear someone like a multi-million-dollar big contract like Nick Castellanos say that. Like, hey, I'm coming here. I gotta put food on the table. That's how he does it, by swinging the baseball bat. And he's been doing it very well recently.
Hey, Ben, you just said shoot a 90. Michael would be buying people drinks at the clubhouse if he shot a 90.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. Ben, I'll take a 90.
I'd love to see what he shot on the second 9. I would love to see that.
There you go.
You know what? You're done, pal. You are done and done for.
Let's cut him off right now.
Let's cut him off. Ben Davis, we thank you for joining us.
Ricky, where was Garcia going?
You know, Ben.
What was he doing?
Where was he going? What was he doing?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, you'll probably hear it again on What Is He Doing upcoming. Benny, thanks so much, buddy. Appreciate it. Ben, everybody's giddy after a win. Ben Davis down at Nationals Park in D.C. Here's Rob Thomson postgame.
A couple of guys who have been scuffling came up big today. We talked about JT pregame, timing. Do you kind of think that he found his timing today?
Hopefully, yeah. He looked pretty good at the plate today. Nice to see him drive some balls and get some balls up in the air because he's been rolling over a lot. But yeah, that was. I thought it was well played game by us all around. Really, I thought we pitched well. We played defense, and we got swung the bats pretty good. Schwarber hit the ball hard. JT had a nice day. Harper had a good day. It was good.
Do you feel like these kinds of games are the blueprint for like positive momentum?
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, you come out here tomorrow and hopefully win a series and just keep moving forward.
When you have a pitching performance like that, I mean, does that lead you to believe that potentially you could do this again and get a?
Yeah, I mean, you can. It's just, you don't know what's going to happen the day before. So, we had a short start yesterday. So and there's a residual effect. It's not just today, it's tomorrow and the next day. So, so we'll see if that's the way we got to go. We got to go that way.
And Strom cruised through the first 2 innings. Were you like tempted to leave him in at all, or was that just
no? He threw
41
pitches 2 days ago, so that would have been it for me.
Marte's been really good in the last 2 weeks since he got
Really
back.
good.
What's the difference for him?
Throwing strikes.
Simple as that?
Yeah, simple as that. Because it's a 98-mile-an-hour sinker, matched up with a really good slider. If he throws strikes, if he's around the plate, he's going to get people out.
Didn't we get the 2 runs, but Dylan, that play to first base to catch the runner, that was a pretty big play in the game defensively.
Which one?
The pitcher didn't even get the runner at first base. Or am I confusing them?
The pickoff?
Pickoff, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was good. Yeah. Yeah, that was good. And even Kobe, he gave up 2 runs, but I thought he threw the ball well. I mean, it's a heavy sinker at 95, 96, 97. And, the cutter's decent. He's got decent stuff.
That double play ball where it was like from first to second and then a run down and run scores, is that the right play there?
Really, you should go to second and then back to first. That way the run doesn't score, or touch the base and throw the play. One or the other.